Good evening, everybody. Now, wait a minute. Y'all have waited the whole year to get to this point. You got to give it to me. Good evening. All right, let's get to it. My name is David Johnson. I have the honor and pleasure of serving as the president of Merritt College, and I'm not afraid to say that this is my happiest day of the year. So I'm going to get into the formal welcome to say good evening, members of the Board of Trustees, Chancellor Jackson, Merritt College faculty, administrators, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, the Merritt College class of 2023. Yeah. So tonight I'm going to be serving as the presiding official for our ceremony. Normally, Dr. Lilia Chavez, who is our Vice President of Student Services, would be doing this, but she's away representing Merritt on official business in Washington, D.C. But I am honored to welcome you to the Merritt College's 2023 commencement. It makes me incredibly proud to see so many students improving their lives through the power of education. So I just wanted to start off, well done, class, well done. So at this time, I'm going to bring to stage Merritt College Intertribal Student Union Club, who's going to provide our land acknowledgement.
Naimbaga Rabio, Shakni Runique Curry. In Ilocano, that's good evening, everyone. My name is Runique Curry. Beside me are my fellow ISU club officers, Elizabeth Flores, Rokamal Maya Cachiquel from Ishmaelef, also known as Guatemala, and Summer Little Cloud, a descendant of the Navajo Nation. I come before you as a descendant of the indigenous Ilocano people of the Igorot tribes in the northern Philippine Islands, the Choctaw Nation of Mississippi, and the Igbo tribe of Nigeria. I was born and raised here in the land of Huchun, which is part of Lujan, a Ohlone territory of what is now known as Oakland, Berkeley, Alameda, Piedmont, Emeryville, and Albany, California. A beautiful melting pot of cultures and biodiversity, but also a place with rich history of radical activism for social justice in the world, because cultural and spiritual traditions were violently forced into dormancy and secrecy. So much ancestral knowledge has been silenced and perished. But that ends with our generation of today, as we dismantle systemic racial oppression, fight for the safety and equality of Black, brown, and indigenous people, preserve and reclaim our culture, language, and lands. We are making headway. Here in Lujan territory, we have the Sogorea Land Trust, which is an urban indigenous woman-led land trust which facilitates the matriation or the return of indigenous land to indigenous people. And we have the Native American Health Center, elevating the health and well-being of the most vulnerable in our community by providing comprehensive services. Thanks to the efforts of our indigenous communities and our allies, we are seeing our governments recognize the importance of land back around the world. Since 2010, when Obama signed the Coble Settlement into law, the US government has purchased and transferred roughly 3 million acres to tribal governments. But we still face many obstacles, and there is still so much work that needs to be done. So let's go beyond a land acknowledgement and take part in helping indigenous communities by learning about the community you live in and build respectful and effective partnerships with indigenous American communities. Indigenous peoples do not just exist in the past, we exist in the present and will continue to exist in the future. Land back, we are of this land. Agyamanak Unai, thank you.
So for those who are able, I'd ask you to rise and remain standing. We're going to have our first performance of the night, the national anthem by a mother and daughter duo, Miss Jillian Del Rosario and Miss Jeannie Ramirez. So if you would stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Them girls good, they good, them girls good. So next up, please welcome the Chancellor of the Peralta Community College District, Dr. Jeanette Jackson. I got you.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, come on now, show a little love here. All right, all right. I won't be here very long because I know there's a lot of other speakers, but I did want to share a story with you, and I think it might resonate to some of you out there. Even though it might be a little different, you will recognize some of the same things that got you here are part of this story. So I'll start out by saying this is being told from the eyes of a 19-year-old. So, and that 19-year-old, it was her first community college graduation. And her mother was graduating, And so the family only had one car, and as you know, all of you got here early. And if you only have one mode of transportation, that meant that everybody got here early. So her and her brothers and sisters were there waiting for her mother to graduate. It was one of those ceremonies like we have for our Latinx students, for our Lavender students, for our African American students, and this one was for the nursing students. They have their own little ceremony. So as the mother was getting ready, the kids were standing around, not really knowing what to do because they'd never gone to a graduation at a college before. And so one of the faculty members came over and said, "Are you guys here waiting, for someone to graduate?" And of course, the older daughter said, "Yes, our mother is graduating," and gave her mother's name. And the faculty member said, "Oh, you're Hannah's kids. Why don't you sit right down in the front for the graduation?" And she said, "There's 8 of us. All of us, we're going to take up the whole row." And she said, "Sure, sit there, sit there. This is important, this is important." So they sat there, and just like you're doing right now, you had all the dignitaries get introduced, and then you had the speakers come out and say welcome. And finally, they got to the part where they started recognizing students. And so this young woman was sitting there, and she said they called up her mother's name. And they, unbeknownst to them, they awarded the mother the most inspirational student, which was voted on by all of the other students that were nursing students. So as her mother came up to the podium to accept her award, she started crying, and then all the 8 kids started crying, and then the people in the audience started crying as the mother tried to explain how she had overcome to get there. She dropped out of school in the 10th grade. She didn't graduate from high school. She got married. She had 6 kids, got remarried, and had 2 more kids. She was a single mom with 6 kids who had really overcome a lot, had worked on going back to school when her last child was in elementary school, passed the GED, and decided that she wanted to go to college. And what she could afford in those days, because it was free, community colleges were free, and we need to go back to that, but that's a different story. It's a different story. She was able to go through and graduate. I share that story with you because I know it resonates with at least 1 or 2 or more of you in the audience. You too have overcome a lot. You too have a story that you will share someday when you stand in my place or others like me, and you too will, what do they call it? Pull it forward, pass it on, tell your story. Never forget where you came from. Never be ashamed because it made you who you are. And I was that 18-year-old looking at my mom cross the stage. So I share that with you because I started from humble beginnings. But through education, I stand before and address you today. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Next, we have bringing greetings and a welcome from the Academic Senate, Professor Isela Santana.
Good evening, Merritt College, graduates, class of 2023, families, and campus community, on behalf of our Senate President Tom Renbarger, I am honored to stand before you today, our beautiful, proud, intelligent human beings ready to rock this world with wisdom, vision, compassion, and positive energy. Merritt College serves the top 100% of our Oakland, Bay Area community and beyond. On behalf of all of my faculty colleagues, congratulations to each and every one of you. The simple fact that you are here in a cap and gown is a true testament of your grit, your ability to overcome, I am sure, many hardships. You may have shed some tears over the years, yet you stand here with conviction, or rather you sit here with conviction to soar high, to pave the path for all those brothers and sisters who need to follow you. On behalf of my fellow colleagues, again, congratulations to each one of you. Walk tall, be kind, claim your space, and yes, bring it on. Just enjoy this day.
Okay, and next, bringing a welcome from the Merritt College Classified Senate, Ms. Marisol Chavez. Show her some love. She's a little nervous. Show her some love. All right. Yeah, do your thing, Marisol.
Greetings, everyone. Buenos días. Buenas tardes. I'm a little nervous. My name is Marisol, and I am the classified president at Merritt College and an alumni class of 2015. It is my honor and pleasure to be in front of all of you in this special day. As a former student at Merritt, I know the struggles you may all have faced, the sleepless nights, the struggling to keep up with the amount of units while trying to hold onto a job, caring out for loved ones, raising children, all while trying to turn in your homework on time. Today we open one of the many doors that will support and guide you for the rest of your journey. Whether that is pursuing a bachelor's degree, another associate's degree, going straight into the work world, or proving something to yourself. Today is a day to celebrate all of that and more. Today you are the star of the show. Today you get to dress up and show out. Today is all about you. As you sit here next to your peers, your professors, your school faculty and staff, and everyone that played a role in you making it here, we thank them for those lessons they taught us in class, as well as outside of class. The friendships that were created, the guidance that was provided. We also want to thank those that provided support at home, our partners, our husbands, our wives, our children, caretakers, guardians, whomever they may be to you. We thank them for their efforts, for their support, and as well for their presence. You all have the ability to accomplish anything you set your mind on, and today is proof of that. 2 years ago, this was days away from being a reality, and look at you now. You have set your mind on something, and you have accomplished it. Pat yourself on the back. You deserve it. Use tonight as a reminder of how good it feels to accomplish something that seemed impossible at times. Use that feeling to fuel your future endeavors. Today will not be the last time you feel this, I promise you that. As you get ready to close out your incredible journey at Merritt College, you make way to your next adventure. Use the tools and skills and knowledge you have received from here to guide you and lead you to your goals. We were but a stepping stone in your journey, and a whole path in front of you is waiting. And as a first-generation student standing in front of you and a proud Mexicana,
Once again, I congratulate class of 2023, and I hope to see all of you guys back at Merritt College. Congratulations.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So now, I'm going to bring to the stage, as I said, she is the student trustee for the Peralta Community College District, but she's also your president. Student body president, ASMC, Ms. Lisa Hogan. Get it, get it.
Hello, 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 beautiful, beautiful people, my Oaklanders. I am so very honored to be here. Give yourselves a round of applause for me. You deserve it. Okay, so everybody knows my name is Lisa Hogan. I don't have to repeat that. I'm honored to be here on this platform. 5 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to tell me that I would be standing here today, but here I am. Well, I'm honored to be here to encourage this graduating class of 2023 off with words of, not wisdom, because I don't think I'm that wise, but just words from my heart that you can take with you as you embark on the next adventures in your life. For some of you like me, your work is not finished. You'll be transferring and moving on to do great things. But still, I want you to embrace being celebrated today, because this milestone is very, very, very important, and you deserve to be celebrated. Merritt College is my home. Because I attended Merritt College part-time, off and on, it took me a very long time to graduate and transfer. And I wanted to give up on several different occasions, but I didn't. I overcame some of the most challenging setbacks during my educational journey here at Merritt, but I didn't get hit with the hardest until I transferred to UC Riverside. My mother passed away in 2018, the Friday before Mother's Day, while I was on break visiting her. So I had to return home after that and regroup emotionally. And Merritt College helped me to heal. It helped me to refocus, and it provided me with the space that I needed to pull myself together and get out of the sunken place. And I have successfully done just that. And I am in full bloom. I am thankful I had a home like Merritt to help guide me where I'm at today here. So, scholars, I ask you to be proud that you are now all a part of the Merritt legacy. Be proud that your home college stands on the mission of putting students first. I recently had the privilege of hearing Dr. Foster standing on that mission in a meeting. Just hearing her say the words, "We put students first," it made me feel like I mattered at that particular time. She wasn't talking about me, but I felt like I mattered. And I thank you, Dr. Foster, for giving me that, and just for your commitment to the students at Merritt. But scholars, it is now our time to go out and create a better world for the next generations. This community has changed so much over the years, and some of the changes are not in alignment with those who are most marginalized in this community, like poor people, children, and people that look like me. But people like us need to collaborate to change that. And of course, this work is not going to be easy, but collectively, we can do impossible things, and education is the way. Education is a tool. It is a tool that we use to learn and master skills, Education is a pathway to a better life. Education can also be used as a weapon to keep those without it oppressed. But your education is yours and yours alone. I ask each of you to use your education to create a better world for the human race. As humans, we are all interconnected. We are all on our own unique paths on this uncertain roller coaster we call life. We need one another to be willing to stand up for the common good. Even if you find yourself in a space where everyone else chooses to oppose, don't be afraid to speak up and advocate for what you feel is right. Be brave and be yourself. Most of all, love yourself. Love yourself. I encourage each of you, graduates, to be the change that you want to see. Remember to rest if you need to. Just don't give up. Every single problem has a solution. And now, I want to thank Doris again for pushing me out of my comfort zone. I'm very much an introvert, so this, for me, being here on this platform it does not come naturally for me. So I thank you, Doris, for seeing in me what I didn't even see in myself. Thank you all. Thank all the people at Merritt College, because each of you all are important. All of the people of the Peralta District, you are important too. Just like every student is important. And we are all family, but this is the Merritt family. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Wait a minute, wait. I gotta leave you with a quote. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it. That's a quote by the great Malcolm X. Now I'm leaving you.
Class of 23, how you doing? You doing okay? Okay, stay with me. So I stand on the stage this evening having the pleasure and privilege of congratulating you on your outstanding accomplishment, and to say that we are proud of you would be an understatement, given everything that you've had to overcome to achieve your educational goals. Right now, we're coming out of the darkness of these past 3 years and stepping into a bright and hopeful future, and your presence tonight is emblematic of that. So being here in this place at this time is no accident. Absolutely no one gets to this point by themselves. Someone inspired you, someone pushed you, someone loved on you, someone checked you and checked on you when you needed it. So you are the product of someone's hopes and dreams, the fulfillment of their aspirations. So this is something I do at most graduations, so it's gonna sound a little unorthodox, but just take a moment to literally call out the names of those who matter to you most, those who you're doing this for, those who you are representing. Just yell it. I already made Johnson on mine, so just go ahead and yell it out. Yell it out, let me hear it. James Johnson. Mamie Thorburn. Yeah. That's right, I see you in the back, okay. So my heart swells with pride and excitement when I contemplate what you are about to achieve. Okay, all right, a little late, but okay, all right. As you embark on the rest of your academic and professional journey. If the old adage is true, and a tree must be judged by the fruit that it bears, I take comfort in the knowledge that you will go out into the world and make your mark. As Merritt College graduates, you not only shape the identity of this institution, you constitute its soul. So as I leave you, I want you to remember this, that we need you to be fearless and undeterred in the pursuit of your goals. We need you to dream big and then go out and get what you just envisioned. We need you to take the knowledge you attained and the experiences you've gained and the relationships that you forged and let that spur you on to greatness. This is what a Merritt College graduate, that's what that means. That's what we expect from you. And that's what your family and your community need from you. Finally, I want to share something that I say at every graduation I attend, and that's to call attention to these robes that we got on, right? These robes we're wearing. Never forget why you have the right to wear the robe, because it's no small thing, because there are only 3 groups who are entitled to wear this robe. When you think about it, only 3. The clergy, who we entrust with inspiring our faith and inculcating our values. Our judges, who we entrust with maintaining our laws and opposing injustice. And our scholars, who we entrust with maintaining our knowledge and advancing our understanding. So Merritt, class of 2023, allow me to be the first to say, welcome to the company of scholars. Yeah. So now I have the honor to present to some and introduce to others a daughter of Oakland, a product of Merritt College, a fellow Cal Bear, the Honorable Mayor Sheng Tao.
Merritt College, are you in the house? Are you in the house, Merritt College? I don't hear you. That's what. Good evening, everyone. Today is your day. My name is Sheng Tao, and I am Oakland's 51st mayor. And it is such an honor to be here today. It's really a full circle, you see. I was sitting in those seats, right where you are at right now, in 2010, when I was graduating from Merritt College. And it took a lot of work. I took 4 years off after high school and came back to school, wanted to do the paralegal studies program to get in, get out, get a job. And I know that today, just know that I know how it feels like to be in that seat, because I've been where you are today, looking back on years of hard work, looking forward to a future made brighter by friends that you've made here, by the faculty and the teachers that you've met here. And today is a proud day. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the family. Family, your graduates are here today because of your love and support. So let's give a round of applause to the family and the friends. I know each and every single one of you has traveled your own road to get here. I know I traveled my own road to graduation, and that road was not like any other. My parents are refugees from Laos. They met in a refugee camp. They did not fall in love. They came over, escaping genocide, and they just paired up so they can try to survive in this new world where they did not know the language, did not know the culture. They've never seen snow in their life, and they were dropped off, literally dropped off in Rhode Island when they thought all the buildings were ashes because that was snow. It's intense. They've never had a formal education. We struggled. We relied on government support to get by, and I was one of 10 children. I beat you. And at the age of 17, I left home. And I'll be very honest, I left home because home was very abusive. I was physically abused. I was emotionally abused. It sucked. And I thought, I'm going to leave. I'm already 17. I got this.
And in my early 20s, I found myself pregnant in an abusive relationship. And you know it's bad when you're 6 months pregnant and he's kicking you in your stomach, you gotta go. If not for yourself, for your unborn child. And so that's what I did. But what did that do? That left me homeless. I lived in my car, slept on people's couches. I also knew that I needed to work after having my child at County Hospital with no visitors. I knew that I needed to get some real stability for my kid. So I went back to school, and I chose Merritt College, and this is the honest truth. I chose Merritt College because it was on that beautiful hill. And I was so hopeless. I was so hopeless at that time that I was okay with hurting someone else and hurting myself. But when I got up to Merritt College and saw the expansive view of beautiful city of Oakland, I felt hope. I felt hope. And the paralegal program, I just picked it out of the catalog, to be quite honest. I was like, which vocational training? I need to get in, get out, get some money. But that decision changed my life forever. I did enter the paralegal program, but it was the instructors, the professors, it was the counselors, and I'm so happy to see some of them still here at Merritt College. They've seen me grow up. It was all of them that are sitting behind me that said, you know what, baby girl, you don't see yourself, we see you. And if you want to do this, just stop at paralegal. Go and be an attorney. If we could do it, you can do it. And I'll be honest, it took about 10 times for me to finally say, all right, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll try it. And as a single mom, I don't know, how many of you out there have children? How many of the graduates have children? I see you. I see you. I brought my baby to class with me, biology exam, took Thomas the trains, had him playing right next to me. And I just want to say thank you to the teachers and the instructors who allow your students to do that. Because sometimes we have no other choice. You know, we talk about our safety system. And I want the administrators to also know that you are our safety system at community college. That's why I think community college is the best way to get an education, because they are focused on putting the students first, especially here at Merritt College, and I know that for a fact. I did get all of my prerequisites. I graduated as valedictorian, yes, in 2010, and I transferred over to UC Berkeley. Go Bears! You know, along the way, of course, I've had help. No one does this on our own. And I want to, you know, Patsy Mink, the first Asian American woman to serve in Congress, once said, we have to build things that we want to see accomplished in life and in our country, based on our own personal experiences, to make sure that others do not suffer the same discrimination. When I was struggling to put food on the table at UC Berkeley, because they always say starving students, but nobody ever did anything about it. That's the frustrating part. Fellow students and I, we got together and we said, I see you're hungry. I see your kid hungry. I'm hungry, my kid's hungry. And so what we did was we started the foundation of what is now called a Bear Pantry. The Bear Pantry is now funded by UC Berkeley, and UCLA came out to UC Berkeley to ask us. They interviewed me and said, where did you come up with this idea? You know what I said? I was like, excuse me? I was hungry and I went begging for food. That's exactly how we started this. It's not, thank you. It's not, it doesn't take a genius to figure out how to solve food insecurity. It is one of the biggest barriers to success. If you are hungry, how can you think about studying? You can't. I learned the importance of giving back, which led me to public service. And if I was sitting in that seat where you're at, when I was, and if somebody told me that you will be Oakland's 51st mayor, I'd laugh. Because you know what I said? I would have told you, I'm not white enough. I would have told you, I don't have any money. My parents are on Medi-Cal. I would have told you, I don't speak like a politician. I speak like I grew up in public housing. But guess what? What I didn't know is that they need us. They need us at the decision-making table. They need you at the decision-making table. We need you. Because, like the story I just told you about the bear pantry, it is us who are the closest to all the darn problems that have the solutions, the basic solutions to all of those problems. It is going to be us who remember to lift while we climb and never shut that door behind us, because we know what we went through. I knew that I walked for hours collecting cans so that we can put food on the table. And that we want to do better for our community and for our city of Oakland. Today I do stand before you as a proud Merritt College graduate, the mayor of Oakland, and the very first Hmong American mayor of a large city in the whole world. All because Merritt College gave me hope, because of their expansive view, and more importantly, because of the people that I saw every single day when I went to class. The instructors, the administrators, the transfer counselor, Barbara Demopoulos from PTK, who's still here, that's amazing. But in my valedictorian speech, I remember, and it's so crazy, I remember saying to my class, now class of 2010, don't you forget to come back and go down that hill and give back. Never knowing that I would be mayor one day. Trust me, if I could be mayor, I see a lot of mayors in this room. A lot of mayors in this room. You all are gonna save us. You all are gonna save us. You all are gonna have the bright ideas. And I know I'm way over time, but I just wanna say I see you. I know what you're going through. This is your moment. You celebrate it the way you wanna celebrate it. Just don't do no sideshows, please. But just know, you can always come back to Merritt, because these fine folks, they've got your back. They've got your back, and I've got your back. So congratulations, class of 2023. Y'all the new leaders of tomorrow.
You heard the mayor, no sideshows. Okay, we're going to keep it moving. I have the pleasure of turning the program over now to our Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Denise Richardson.
Good evening, everyone. And congratulations, class of 2023. Academic tradition requires that we recognize students who distinguish themselves by achieving the highest honors of scholarship in the graduating class. These individuals are honored by having achieved the highest academic GPA of 4.0. The valedictorian is an academic title given to students with the highest grade point average in the graduating class. I would like to acknowledge our valedictorians, we have two of them, and our salutatorian. Our first valedictorian is Michael Vasquez, and our second is Chelsea Morales. And our salutatorian is Pamela Severson. One of our valedictorians and our salutatorian will honor us with a speech. We will now hear from our valedictorian, Michael Vasquez.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty members, honored guests, family members, my fellow graduates, this evening we are gathered in celebration as a community. We are gathered to share and reflect on our personal journeys and the obstacles that we have overcome through hard work and dedication to get to this pivotal moment in our lives. It truly is an honor and a privilege to represent the class of 2023 and stand before you as your valedictorian. Before I start my speech, I want to take a moment to honor and dedicate this speech to a former Merritt College teacher of mine who recently lost her life to cancer. Miss Jennifer Breffa was an inspiration to many of her students. Despite being sick, her dedication to the education of others was always number one. And for that, I want to honor and thank her tonight. You will forever be missed, Miss Breffa, but always remembered in our hearts. I want to start my speech with a question to my fellow classmates. What did your journey look like to get to this moment? Think about that question. I want you to visualize those moments where life changed you. Visualize the times in your life where you just wanted to throw in the towel and give up. Visualize those moments school felt overwhelming and stressful. Look at the path it took in order for you to walk across this stage here this evening. My journey to this moment wasn't exactly what I had dreamed growing up. I had dreamed that I would go to a Division I college, play football, and hopefully one day go pro. Life had a different plan. My life's journey instead is filled with lots of mistakes, failures, sorrow, sorrow, courage, strength, redemption, forgiveness, love, and most importantly, family. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. I'm a recovering drug addict. God willing, I will have 10 years sober this October. I was homeless, and I once weighed 620 pounds. This isn't the life I pictured, but I'm so grateful it's the path I've been on because of the lessons I've learned and the growth it allowed me. My past failures and mistakes in this moment have transformed into one of my greatest achievements, which is to graduate with you tonight. It's through my pain and sorrow, my failures and mistakes, that I have gained perspective and knowledge. I chose to define who I wanted to be and who I would become instead of allowing my sorrow and pain to do it for me. I want to thank my family who stuck by me, regardless of the pain I put them through. It's through their forgiveness and unconditional love I'm able to stand before you a changed man. You all had a hand in getting me here, so thank you. You may not share exactly all of my life experiences, but tonight we all share our lives' journeys with each other. We all share those tough moments when we wanted to give up, but we didn't. We all share those moments when we felt we couldn't do it, but we did. We all share the perseverance, hard work, and dedication that it takes to earn a degree. Tonight, we all share in celebrating each other's accomplishments, each other's goals, each other's dreams, each other's blood, sweat, and tears. We did this together whether you know the person sitting next to you or not. We suffered together through those days and nights where life got in the way, but we overcame and turned that paper in on time. We chased the dream of a higher education, and the dream came true. Harness this moment, this feeling. Remember it forever. Take pride in knowing that you can achieve anything that you put your mind to, as long as you're willing to put the work in. Thank those individuals that helped you along the road to get you to this moment, whether it's a family member, a friend, a teacher, or a classmate, because we all couldn't do it on our own. To my fellow classmates who are just starting out, don't ever give up when life starts to get tough, because you proved to yourself today you overcame the odds. And to those who have pursued this degree later in life, you are proof it's never too late to start over. Congratulations, class of 2023. We did it.
This is why we do what we do. We will now hear from our salutatorian, Pamela Severson.
Congratulations, graduates. We did it! No matter where you've come from or where you started, today you should be proud of a job well done. You've completed something significant. As a result of your hard work, you are already beginning on a new path in your life's journey. To all the friends, family, teachers, and administrators who helped us arrive at this immensely special day, thank you. Thank you for all you've given and continue to give on our behalf. Graduations are always a day of gratitude, and we are grateful for you. I came to Merritt College after being away from formal education for 22 years. As a passion project, I wanted to learn everything I could about landscape, architecture, and design. Like many of you, I started Merritt College in person. I learned that plants grow best in communities. Symbiotic relationships between earth, water, wind, sun, sky, fire, seeds, cuttings, all come together. Everything plays a role. As we continue to learn, our department chairs Chris Gramp and Laura Forlin encouraged us to grow like the plants as a community. Throughout the pandemic, our student body recognized our Zoom interactions as a lifeline, helping us each move forward emotionally and scholastically. We agree that we all spent way too many hours in homework chat rooms, but somehow we emerged inextricably linked. We are better than we were. Being a part of a growing community is always a good place to be. The most beautiful gardens in the world don't just happen. With purpose and hard work, cultivators thoughtfully tend the land to produce even native species. We are still passionate about finding the right plant for the right place, but we are ready to build communities where we can all work together. As Merritt graduates, we are a part of a unique ecosystem, qualified to make our workplaces better spaces. We live in the most beautiful place in the world. Let us lean on what we've learned at Merritt College and go forward to our bright future. To the class of 2023, congratulations.
I would also like to acknowledge our second valedictorian, Chelsea Morales. Chelsea, would you just wave your hand? Please join me in congratulating Merritt's valedictorians and salutatorian on their academic achievements. Graduates and guests, in your commencement program, you will notice small stars next to some of the names. These stars signify the honors that students have received based on their cumulative grade point average, or GPA. Graduates with a 3.75 to 4.0 GPA have 3 stars next to their name and have received highest honors. Graduates with 3.5 to 3.74 GPA have 2 stars next to their name and have received high honors. You may notice that some of our students are wearing gold stoles. These students have a grade point average of 3.5 or higher. Also, some are members of the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society Beta Theta Lambda, chapter for 2-year colleges. Graduates earning a 3.25 to 3.49 GPA have received honors and have 1 star next to their name. At this time, I would like to ask all students with a 3.5 to 4.0 GPA and students wearing gold stoles and tassels to please stand and be recognized. It is now my honor to certify the candidates of the graduating class of 2023. Everybody, all graduates, please stand.